Hello, everyone. My name is Stroop, and I'm here to talk about League of Legends. So if you're not aware already, League of Legends is a 5 versus 5 game. It is almost like a sport in that you have two teams against each other that have one goal. In this case, it is to destroy the other team's nexus. All right, so this is just a sort of introduction to the game, and I'm going to talk about lanes. I'm going to just talk about the basics, okay? So I've got the game map right here. This game has 3 lanes, as you can see you can see in here. There's the top lane, which goes on top here. There's the middle lane, and there's the bottom lane. Top, mid, and bot, as you can see here. There's also a jungle, which is any area that is in between these lanes. It is this here. There's 2 sides to the jungle. There's the top jungle, bottom jungle. There are 4 different places for you to go when you start the game. One of the lanes or the jungle. There's also 5 different roles to select in this game. There is top, mid, ADC, or as League likes to call it, marksman, support, and jungle. I believe that's all of them. So I'm going to go over what each of those do for the game. I'm going to start with the bottom lane. In the bottom lane here, it is unique, and it's the only lane that takes 2 people to go down it. So if you start the game in the base here, right here, and you'll have 2 people go down here. You will have the ADC, that stands for attack damage carry, and a support. Now the carry's job is at the late end of the game. Their job is to carry the team, do the most damage. They're very important. Um, very early in the game, they don't do much, but they're key in winning the game late game. They're like the most important player. You want to keep them alive, and you want them to succeed. And that is why they take a support with them. They take a support to heal, they provide many things. You could support by adding extra damage, healing, and more vision. There are many things the support can do. Both of these characters will go down into the bottom lane, and the enemy side will also have 2 people and they will meet up down here, and they will fight. Throughout the game, there are certain objectives to be taken. Now I'm going to go over those. So there are towers, which are these things here. You can see that there are 3 of them in each lane. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. These towers will protect your team if you stand under them, because they will fire at any enemy that goes near them. So they're a safe area for your teammates and you. So this is what the minions look like. So as you can see, the ones with the blue health bar are yours, and the ones with the red health bar are the enemies. There will be waves of minions that automatically get sent down the lanes, and they will meet up at the middle. So now your goal is to kill the minions, the enemy minions, so that yours will go under the tower. The towers can only fire at one target at a time. So while they're attacking the minions, that's your chance to destroy these towers. Getting towers is one of the goals, one of the objectives, okay? Another objective is there are 2 monsters, 2 large monsters in the jungle that are very important. There's one near the top that spawns right over here, and there's one on the bottom that spawns over here. The one on the bottom is known as the dragon, and the one on the top is known as Baron. Okay, so these 2 monsters will give your team large buffs and gold and important things. The biggest reason why the ADC and support lane goes to the bottom is that having more people close to the dragon, especially in the early game, is important, because Baron up here is only important late game. right? The monster up here is a lot harder to kill. You need pretty much your whole team, and it doesn't even spawn until later, so you won't even be there. The dragon spawns earlier in the game. It's easier to kill, and having more people down here closer to it will let you contest it much easier. If they try to take it, you'll have more people nearby, and if you want to take it, you'll have more chances to do that. The monster up top, Baron Nashor is its full name. It doesn't spawn until later, and so because of that, you only need one person up here because you don't, early in the game, you don't necessarily need to defend it. So it's not as important, but later on, it can make or break a game. Uh, so let's see. Once you've destroyed the towers, the inhibitor will be open to attacks. Each team and each lane has inhibitors. So you have one for each lane. Once an inhibitor is destroyed, super minions will spawn in that particular lane. So this right here is a red super minion. Super minions will spawn in a particular lane when you destroy an inhibitor, allowing your team to gain an advantage. Now, there is also something I forgot to mention earlier. There's something called Fog of War. Now, your characters have limited vision, and you have limited vision. During the game, you will see a minimap on your bottom right or bottom left, depending on your settings that you have picked. Now, on this map, you'll be able to see all of your minions, all of your towers, and all of your teammates, okay? But in this jungle here, and anywhere else that you do not have units, you will not be able to see. Meaning, once you have destroyed an enemy's tower, if they don't have minions in that area, they do not have vision. One of the biggest elements that people tend to forget in League of Legends is vision. You are able to buy wards from the in-game shop, using gold collected in-game. And these wards will give you can place them on the map, and they will give you vision even if you're not standing near it. You'll be able to look at your minimap and know if somebody passes by on the enemy team, you will be able to see them. Vision is what makes or breaks a game. Knowing where the enemy is will allow you to use that to your advantage and take their nexus. The nexus is what ends the game. That is your ultimate goal. Once you have destroyed at least one of these inhibitors, and you've destroyed the 2 towers standing in front of the nexus will be open to attacks, and they can be destroyed. It sounds easy, but the nexus is directly next to the spawn point for the other team, which means it will be very easy for them to come in and defend. So this is the most crucial part, because once you reach this point of the game, the respawn timers for coming back after dying are very long. So any death from either side can make or break. The jungle role I will talk about. So the jungler, instead of going to one of these lanes, they will start by taking a camp. There are monsters that regularly spawn in the jungle that do not take part in either side. The monsters are like a third party. They're not assigned to either team, meaning somebody from the red side is able to kill monsters in this jungle, and someone from the blue side is also able to kill monsters in this jungle. The jungler starts in the jungle and regularly gains experience, gold, any stats from killing monsters in the jungle. One big thing that's very important to a team, and that is the jungler is able to move around unnoticed by the enemy team, because neither team starts with vision in the jungle. You are able to, as it's called, gank, right? Okay, so for example, let's say that the blue team down here, okay, in this bottom lane, they've pushed out their minions all the way up to this tower here, okay? If they don't keep an eye out on the map and they don't place wards, the jungler can come out through this river here and come from behind. If they're attacking this tower, the jungler has the advantage. They can gank them from behind. and come in unnoticed. That is potentially deadly for the people laning in this bottom lane or any lane. So that's why vision is very important, because you will able to keep them in check and know, is it safe for me to destroy this tower? So in the individual lanes, you gain experience and gold by killing minions. At some point during the game, once you reach level 6 in game, it changes, the gameplay changes, and it becomes very useful for you to leave your lane. Maybe once you've destroyed a tower, or if your minions are pushed too far and it's unsafe to keep pushing, at that point, it becomes advantageous to go to other lanes, and you can gank other lanes, even if you're a laner in the bottom lane. If you notice that the person in mid lane has pushed up too much on your side, you can leave your lane unnoticed and come from behind and potentially get kills. Getting kills is important, but it's not what makes or breaks a game. Getting the most kills will not always mean that you win a match. The two monsters, I'm gonna talk a little bit more about those. The dragon that spawns gives your team a buff depending on the type of dragon. There is 4 types of dragons, I believe, and they all give you different stats. When you look on your map, you are able to see what type of dragon is down there. Once you've taken enough dragons, your team gets a very large buff that can make or break games as well. There's also the Baron buff, which again is a late game enemy, and once you kill him, you'll also get a very large buff, and further increase the power of the minions in your team's side as well. So a lot of times taking that and standing near your minions, that's all you have to do, because sometimes your minions are so powerful, you can just stand by your minions and they end it. They do all the work for you. That's about all I'm going to talk about for today. It's pretty simple, but there's a lot more to it. It goes very in depth. In my next video, I'm going to talk about the roles a little bit more. That's about it for now.